Hey everyone, it's Rygar here. Welcome back to episode 2 of Rygar's Gaming Corner in learning to play City Skylines. So if you remember at the end of episode 1, we got to the stage of unlocking Worthy Village because we'd reached a population of 900, and we got being able to do districts, industry specializations, and also having to deal with fires and crime using firehouses and police stations. Alright, so got to the stage where I'm going to need some electricity. So if you look at our consumption here, we're consuming 18 megawatts, we're only producing 12 megawatts through our wind turbines. Now because we unlocked the next stage, we've got $54,000, so I might just whack in a coal power plant. Now I know these days it's not particularly a cool thing to have coal burning power plants. It's just a game. Alright, so it's just a game, don't worry too much about it. We'll produce some more green alternatives later on as we progress through the game. So we just need to increase the road here, and let's put in a coal power plant. Sweet, so we'll just whack that on the end here. Awesome. So if we start the game running, that's going to whack up our consumption. So it's 62 megawatts. Actually, that's way too much that we need, and it's going to be costing us money, so I might as well just drop the budget down a bit. So let's put it back to around 100%. What does that do? 51, that'll do. I don't want to keep playing around with it during the recording. That's fine. Sweet. Alright, so we better put in some firehouses, because if we start to get a fire and you haven't got anything, it's going to raise your city pretty quickly because it travels fast between buildings. So let's put in a firehouse. So again, if you put your mouse around, you'll see where the coverage is. So probably one here is a good idea. So if I put one here, you'll notice it's going to destroy some houses. So that's fine, it's up to you, it doesn't really matter. So find an empty space or just deconstruct a couple of houses, and we should put one on the other side for our industry area, because otherwise it's going to take ages for your fire engine to come from that firehouse all the way down to your industrial area as well. So let's put one on a main road, or on a collector road, because it's easier for them to get around. So we'll put that there. So you'll notice that the houses will turn kind of a bluish shade. Now for industry, because they are fire hazards, because it's an industrial area, you'll never get them down to completely blue. But you'll see a lot of your residential areas. Even the areas which are still kind of orangish, it just gives you the fire hazard. They'll still be covered by the firehouse. So you could put another one in here if you wanted to, but we don't have that much money. We're only down to $13,000 after just putting down two firehouses and the power plant. Alright, we'll need to extend our piping. So this is why it's good to keep your game running, because you're still making money. So let's put up to 2 times, so that way making lots of money. So let's put in a pipe here. Sweet, that takes care of that. So the other thing was the police station. Now police will get around to both areas, so we just need one of these. So where do we want to stick the police station? Yeah, let's stick it on, no, not on Arterial Road. Actually, no, we'll put it on Arterial Road, because that gives them quick access to all places. Sweet, now looks like we need to up the budget for our water processing. Yep, so you can see we're just over the pumping capacity. So remember, we had our water setting at the lowest rate, so let's put it up to 70%. That should last us quite a while. Now, one more thing with the budget, if you set your trash and medicine to 101%, it means it puts an extra vehicle out for them to do their work. So they send out vehicles in your city. So by making it 101%, that gives you an extra vehicle, and you don't have to whack it up a lot. So it's up to you if you want to do that. For education, they don't produce any vehicles, so that's perfectly fine. So that's a little trick I found out as well. So you can see our traffic is still pretty good. There's no traffic snarl ups. So we've got lots of buttons in the menu up here. So if we click on the trash button, that shows you where our landfill site is. It's got 4,000 storage capacity. 400,000 storage capacity. Oh, that's what's being used, 420,000. It's got a capacity of 8 million. Cool, and our garbage production in the city is 31,000 units per week. And as you add more stuff, that's going to go up. You can check out the happiness of your citizens. So mostly it's pretty happy. Residential is reasonably happy. So once we produce some more upgrades like parks and more services, that will go up. So everything else is pretty good. Click on the traffic button. So you don't want any kind of dark red areas because that means you're getting traffic snarl ups. You can't do anything about traffic outside your city. You can see that this area here is quite busy. It's red because it's the main entry point, so that's why that's red. Otherwise everything else is mostly pretty good. So as long as it's not really dark red, which is very high. So the average traffic flow is 94%. If it gets down to 0, we are in deep trouble. All right. Sound pollution, so you can see what is causing sound. So our electricity generation causes sound. Industrial area causes sound. So residents don't like living next to places with high sound generation, so that's why you want to separate your industry from your residential. So commercial will produce some sound, but it's not much, so it's okay. So that's perfectly fine. It's not going to cause a problem with your residents. Cool. You can look at crime. So you can see we've got our police station here in purple. So that's just showing us if there's any crime in the area. Education. So you can see that some of the buildings are turned brown because some of those people are getting educated. So if we click on this house here, you can see we now have 8 educated and 10 uneducated. So people that come out of elementary school or primary school are educated. People that come out of high school are well educated. People come out of university are highly educated. Cool. You can look at the health. So we've got a good coverage of health here. You can click on your medical building. So no patients were treated because everyone is doing pretty well. So that's fine. You can look at the wind. So if you need to place more wind turbines, then you can do that, but we don't need to worry about that. Look at the pollution. So we can see that there's a bit of pollution from our sewerage outlet. So that's going into the river, but the river is taking that away and eventually the pollution dissipates. But our industrial area causes a lot of ground pollution. Whoa! We just hit tiny town. Awesome. Just by doing nothing. So we've got a population of 1,400 people. So that gives us extra things. It gives us the landscaping tool so we can actually modify the terrain. Parks and plazas to make our areas a bit more nicer for our citizens. New policies. We can do things with canals. We're not going to worry about that. You can see all the different parks that we can get. So there's lots of cool stuff there. There's a tennis court, which is awesome. Also get a high school and a public library. Cool, lots more park things. Oh, there's a basketball court. Nice. Dog parks and Japanese gardens. So we can use those to beautify our city, and that increases the happiness of our citizens. Sweet as. All right, so we've hit that. So going back to pollution, industry produces ground pollution. If you remove the industry, eventually that ground pollution will go away if you put something else there, but you probably want to wait till that pollution goes away before you start to build something else. So we can check out the fire safety. That's pretty good. So the other thing is the natural resources button. So if you tick on that, you can see the natural resources. So the green areas are forestry areas, so that's where you can specialize in forestry. So we could produce some forestry industry in this area over here. And in this area we can see we've got quite a nice yellow patch, which is where our farming industry is. So that's all fertile farming land. So we want to produce farming industry in that area. So we're going to start off with some farming industry, and then we can produce some forestry industry later on. Right. Now if we don't do any specialization, it'll just produce generic industry. Okay, so what we have to do is produce a zone. So you can produce a zone by clicking on the districts button, and that can produce a district for us, which is essentially a zone. So there's the paint button, and then there's the erase district, right? So if I just paint an area, then we can use the erase button, and that will erase the area. Cool. So let's make a district out of our residential area here, and we can then name it something. So let's paint that. Sweet, and it gives you a name. Feel free to change the name if you want to, that's entirely up to you. Sweet, so that gives us a district for like a suburb. What do they call it in America? I guess it's called a suburb as well. So like a suburb in your city, and you can create lots of different pockets, suburbs, zones in your city. Right, so now we want to create a zone for our resources. It's probably a good idea to get your resources tab open, so we can see the area here that we can use for producing farming area. So we've got this area here, which goes across like that. Cool, let's just do it up to here for now, and we can extend it out a bit further if we want to. Alright, so that's going to be our farming area. So we don't want it too close to the industry area because that produces pollution. So if we go back to the pollution, you can see that the pollution is not coming into our farming area. So farming doesn't produce pollution, which is nice. So we can still have industrial, but it's not producing pollution. Alright, the next step is to make this into a farming specialization. So we can click on this next button here, which is the Industrial Specializations button. So click on that. So we've got the forestry industry, the farming industry, and then we have our generic industry. So at the moment, what we did before is just generic industry. We didn't have to create a specific zone for that, but you can do if you want to force it. So we click on the farming industry, just click in your district, and then it sets the little tractor here, and it makes it our farming industry. So let's make it into a bit more of a farming name. So we need to click off that, click on the name here, and then click on the name up the top here. We can give it something different. So let's call this Pearl. Yeah, Pearl's fine. Let's call it Pearl Farms. Alright, so now we need to produce some roads to produce our farming industry. So again, it's probably easiest to have the resources zone. Now let's do our district because it makes it easy to see what's inside the district here. Alright, so this is going to be the Arterial Road. So coming off that, we want our collector road. So we'll use the same road at this stage. Let's put the zone back in. So let's do a road out here, up to there. Let's do that one there. Let's do another road out there. Sweet, and then we can do some collector roads in between. So again, we'll just use our dirt track, which is quite nice for a farming area because it matches in. Alright, that's quite nice. We don't get any wastage there. Sweet. Alright, so you can see we've got a very high demand for industry, and now we can actually produce our farming zone. So in fact, let's just go back to the district painter and just extend that a little bit more. Sweet as. Cool, so all we have to do now is just zone our industry just exactly like we did before. The other thing was we've got the population button, I forgot to mention. So we click the population button, that tells us our how much population is, and then how much unemployment we have. So unemployment's important, because if you get your unemployment too high, 28% is pretty high, so that's not very good. If you get your unemployment rate too high, people will start to leave your city because there's no jobs. Right, but we're going to produce some farming area, and that's going to take up some jobs. So let's see how far the unemployment rate drops down. All right, so let's zone our farming area. So we want there, there, and there. I don't want to fill all of this up because I don't want any industry on the arterial road, because that will produce a lot of traffic. So let's just do this 4 along here. Now, because it is on a kind of a bit of a hill, you can see it's on a hill, so you're going to start to get some weird, kind of the way it builds the things, the weird things happen with the land. Don't worry too much about it. It's not something you can actually control. I don't really worry about it too much. If it bothers you, then I'm sure there are some YouTube videos that you can use to help you to you can use the landscaping tools to smooth things out a bit more if you want. Alright, so we'll need to connect some pipes and electricity, so let's do that. Sweet, and then we just need to put some electricity across. So, well, we can do this for now, and then if we have some things in between, some buildings in between, we can remove that. So the nice thing is, once areas connect up, you can start to remove power lines as required. Sweet. Alright, so yep, our farming area is starting to build up. You can see if we go to the pollution, there's no pollution with the farming area, which is quite nice. So it's nice and green, which is awesome. It still produces sound, still get quite a bit of sound, lots of tractors and farm machinery and stuff happening. Sweet, so let's put it 2 times. So again, our intersection off the main highway, we don't really need to do anything yet. There's no big traffic build-ups or anything, so that's perfectly fine. We'll just leave that as it is. So we are going to need some more residential area. Now, we could use this area for forestry, but I need some residential area first, and if I want to build residential in this area, I have to buy a new tile, which we don't have just yet. So let's use this area and produce some more residential. Alright, we'll upgrade these roads later on, and at the moment the dirt roads means the happiness of your citizens aren't as good. As we increase them to paved roads, that'll actually get our satisfaction rating up a lot more. Alright, so let's create some more collector roads. So let's do a collector road along here. Sweet. We might need to move our wind turbines in a minute, so we can do this road. Let's go all the way. Can we do that? Oh yeah, let's just do that. Looks good. Sweet. We don't want any residential areas by our sewage outlets, so let's not do that. Cool. But we can produce some nice residential area by the riverfront here, which will be quite cool. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that and that. Let's do some across there. Let's produce some more shops in this area. Nice, nice. Looking good, looking good. Cool, and then we want to do residential across here, but only up to here. And you'll find, if we go back to the power, we don't need the power all the way across here now, right? Because we're going to be connected up to here pretty soon. So what we do want is remove that, and then go from here to here. working. Now I can get rid of this, all of these ones. We'll leave that because we need to connect these two sections up, but once we have some more houses along here, that will actually go away. And in fact, why don't we do that by building some commercial in here. Cool. If we do that, that'll connect up those two particular zones. We'll need it in there. That'll connect up those two zones. So that means we can start to fill in all of this area here. Now you can put cars on your arterial route, which is fine, but I don't want to do it just yet because I need to upgrade that road to a bigger road once we get access to it. So we'll just leave all this area around the arterial road as it is, and in fact we'll just take our arterial road up to here, and then we'll just use collector roads all the way across. Sweet, that looks good. Probably what's going to happen later on is that you'll tend to rip up your entire beginning area once you've got lots of money and lots of other things to help you out and stuff. Sweet. Alright, so we've got a big demand for residential. Whoops, need some more piping. So let's just go to there. Sweet. So we're going to fill up all this area of residential, so let's create some more pipes. The cool thing about this game is you're not playing against anyone. You can do whatever you want. It's completely creative. It's really awesome. What an awesome game. It's really cool. Alright, let's just build some more roads in. Sweet, sweet. So let's build a collector road off here. Yeah, let's do it from there. Now you'll see we can't really line up with this other road here. It's hard to tell. So later on we're going to use a mod. So a mod is a modification program that will add extra functionality to the base game. So we'll just do it to there, and then we can do one from here going across and connect up. Alright, so I want to move this turbine. Could delete it, but it's already there, so we'll just move it. So if you click off the road tool, click on that, you'll see there is a Relocate Building button. So if you click on that, we can just move it, and it tells you the cost of relocation. So there is a cost, but that's okay. So let's move it to there, and we'll probably just need to make the power go across. Actually, we can just do that. Awesome. And then we don't need these. Excellent. Sweet. Alright, let's carry on building our roads. So we've got the collector roads in. We now want to build our local roads. Alright, so I don't want any local roads off the arterial road, so we'll do it off the collector road. So let's go all the way across. Ooh, so this intersection is going to be pretty close to this intersection over here. I don't want to do that. So let's make it a bit more there. Alright, so that way we've got a nice bit of room between two. You don't want to have intersections too close to each other, especially that this road is a collector road. Alright, so let's do one across here. Cool, so again there's a nice distance between those two. And in fact, I was just thinking whether I want to make this an arterial road, but no, what we'll do is we'll extend the highway across and have another intersection up here that we can connect onto. We can always change it later if we change our minds, that's fine. Sweet, so we want a road that goes like this, just be a little bit different. Cool, and then we might go, yeah, let's just do that. And let's make this one symmetrical, shall we? Cool, it doesn't matter if you waste some space, don't worry about it. As I said, play the game the way that you want to play. And let's do it this way. Sweet, alright, so we've got a nice area that we can use for zoning. So we don't want to put any area in here. Alright, leave that blank. And we want to put some. So we got demand for everything, residential, commercial and industrial. So let's get on to that. Sweet, let's create some. Oh, I forgot to check the our unemployment rate. Let's go and have a look. Sweet, you can see the unemployment is down to 5%. Right, pretty massive drop from 28% down to 5% because we added lots of commercial and now. So sometimes you'll get abandoned buildings because generally it's because they're missing something. So we're missing some. So you can see we're desperately needing of water. So we've got pipes. That probably means we don't have enough capacity. Yep. So I forgot to check that. So go to our budget. We'll just whack the budget up. Let's put it up to 100. So don't worry if you get abandoned buildings because people will move into them again later on. So now that the need has been filled, you can see that abandoned building has gone away and now we're getting a new building built in there. Cool. The other thing you'll see is the not enough workers. So you'll see that, hey, not enough workers. It needs 2 uneducated workers. This one here needs 2 uneducated workers and 1 educated worker. Currently it's got 2 educated workers. So it's gone abandoned because it didn't have enough. Don't worry, it will get back again. So the reason being is our unemployment rate was very low. So now that it's gone up to 9% because we've got more people moving in, that will change. So again, don't worry about the not enough workers. As you add more people in, that will fill up. Cool. If you really want to, you can always bulldoze an abandoned building because it does lower the value of the properties around it. So we can just delete that and it will get refilled in with something else. Cool, so the demand for residential has gone down quite a bit. We need some more farming area. So what's our district like? So yep, we can put in some more farms across here. So we've got a collector road there, so we just want a local road. How far do we want to go? Alright. Oh, just hit Boomtown! Sweet as! So we've got a population of 2,400 people. Awesome. So we can buy another tile when we want to. Now we get a cool thing, which is our public transport system. So we've got a transport hub, and we start off with buses. So buses can be quite tricky to do. So it took me quite a while to kind of get the hang of it. I'm still not a complete master at it, but I can give you the basics. We can also specialize in ore industry if you've got an ore area, and we've got recycling, recreational use. We've got some new roads that we can add, so we can add new intersections. So the cloverleaf and the 3-way intersection are intersections for highways. We can also produce roundabouts. So roundabouts are really popular in kind of European countries. and they're a lot better than having straight intersections with traffic lights and so on. Also got highway and the highway ramp, so we can start to build those. We get the advanced wind turbine. You got toll booths if you want to charge people for getting through a particular road. I don't normally bother with toll booths because you get lots of money anyway. Got the cemetery, elder care, child healthcare centre, and the bus depot. Sweet. Alright, so I guess we should carry on with our Boomtown on the next episode of Rygar's Learning to Play City Skylines. So again, if you found this tutorial video useful for you, please click the like button, and please subscribe if you haven't already, because it just helps with the YouTube algorithm and it helps more people to find these particular videos. Please put any comments in. I'll read all the comments and try and reply to them as well. I will find them useful. If you want something a bit more explained or something you want to see, that will be really cool as well. If you want to criticize anything I've done, that's perfectly fine. I'm not a city skylines expert, just a guy that likes city skylines. And I am in the education field, so I think I have a pretty good way of explaining things. Alright, so click the like button, please subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Learning to Play City Skylines with Rygar.